with some of our family. We are actually out on some of these back roads here around, not too far from our property, and we're hunting for goldenrod. I found from a friend this week that she said now's the time to get it. Get out on the little back roads and find, it'll be in the ditches, it'll be everywhere. And sure enough, it really is. And so we are looking to see how much goldenrod we can find. Okay, we just pulled over on the side of the road. So this is the goldenrod. It is growing everywhere on the side of the road. In some places it is really thick, and in other places it is more sparse. But there's apparently, my friend told me, a window of just a couple of weeks where we can get it, and my plan is to make tinctures and infuse it in olive oil and use it that way. She's fine, Gracie.
I was bringing Daddy's load.
Nice. So we're just putting it in the eskies for now. And good. Got a pile of it there, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. The bugs seem to love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to not get the bugs.
Yeah.
I've had to leave several because they were full of bugs. But there's plenty. It's not as if we're hurting for it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. All along here. Bright yellow flower. And apparently it's good for a lot of things. So now a little while ago I made a video on herbal respiratory tinctures, and the lady I bought those from is the one I've been speaking to, who told me about this. I actually was talking to her about a completely different subject, and she said, hey, the goldenrod's out and it's blooming, so now's the time to forage and get as much as you can and put whatever you can in olive oil, infuse some in olive oil, and then infuse some in vodka to make tinctures. And she said it's really good for kidneys, for kidney function in general, UTIs, anything like that. But it's also really good for sprains and strains, bruises. So topically, using it on, you know, sprained ankles, I guess, or bruising from injuries. So it's good that way. And what was the other one? Oh, allergies. Because a lot of people are actually apparently allergic to goldenrod. It's not a plant I am at all familiar with. I don't even know if we have it in Australia. I'm not familiar with it at all, but it causes a lot of people problems with allergies. But it also, apparently, if you put it in a tincture form, can help with allergies. So that's pretty cool to know. There's a couple of us in our family who struggle with allergies, so that might be good for that as well.
So wherever you are around the world watching, let us know if you have goldenrod.
Yeah.
Where you live. Or if you're here in America or in Australia, let us know if it's the right season and if you're harvesting it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something I have never done this before. And like I said, I have done some herbal medicine, but all the plants are different here. And it's something that we definitely want to know better how to use everything that's around us to help, whether it's for food or for medicine. It's all something we want to learn and know. So apparently, now the bees love it. It's covered in bees, and some wasps and lots of bugs, lots of insects. So apparently the time to get it. Gracie, where are those other? Give them to Daddy. Apparently the time to get it is when it's just blooming, is what I've been told. So not like fully, like the flowers are spent, but just starting to bloom, just blooming. And so we're cutting off the tops, and I'm not sure so let me know if you know a lot about tincturing or making herbal remedies from goldenrod. I'm going to go home and look it up anyway, but whether I use just the flower or if I use the leaves as well. And I'm going to get as much as I can to try and dry some of this as well for later on through the year. And we have our esky full of goldenrod, and I have realized I thought I had olive oil, and I do, but I actually just have it's extra virgin olive oil, but it's not organic. And whenever I am fermenting or infusing or concentrating something, I really like to use organic because I don't want to add any chemicals to something, especially if I'm trying to use it medicinally. That to me is just counterproductive. So I am going to probably sort through all of this and hang it for now to start drying it. But I have a tiny, like I've got this much vodka left from when I was doing tinctures before. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe make a very small using what I've got with the vodka, and I'm gonna have to go to the shops this week, and I'm gonna have to prioritize getting some olive oil, organic olive oil. I don't actually know if I'm even gonna find that in town here. A lot of times I have found it's really hard to find organic products in our local town, and I kind of have to go down to Houston or to a Costco, which the nearest one is 90 miles away. Or I think there's one up in Tyler, but there's nothing close, nothing close. So anyway, I will check around town and hopefully I might find something, but that's not too expensive. But I know I can get vodka, so I'll at least be able to do that. So for today, there's not much more I can do other than I will dry some of these. I think I'll just hang them like I do with my other herbs. And I will do a small thing of infused in the vodka because I have it. Other than that, we're just gonna have to wait. Okay, it is several days later, actually, like nearly a week later. And I'll show you in a minute. I've been drying the goldenrod, and I've just got some things out ready because although I could leave it dry a little bit longer, it is driving us all nuts. So I started with it drying on the table, but pretty soon realized that was not a good idea having it in the main living area because I started sneezing, my eyes were watering and itchy, and it just wasn't good. It just wasn't good. So I put it out in the rumpus room. But then that is often used by the children as a play area. So then I had to move it from there. So now it's in the mud room, but even so, it's just too close proximity to the house. So there's only a couple of us that are reacting to it, but out of the whole family, there's myself and our eldest reacts probably even worse than me, and one of the younger ones sneezing as well. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and process this. I believe you can actually do it fresh. That is what the lady that first told me about this, she does it both fresh and dried. When I did a little bit of reading online, a little bit of research on the School of Traditional Skills, and through the Doc Jones, who is the herbalist that teaches on there, he recommends drying it first, only because if there's any moisture or water in the herb, then it can reduce the shelf life. That's pretty much the main reason, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and do some of these. I bought some organic olive oil because I didn't have any, and hubby went and got me a box of vodka because it's way cheaper buying it by the box than it is the individual bottle. So we will get processing. So I'm just out here in the rumpus room collecting this. So I've got some drying here, which this has got to come out of this room where the kids are. So I'll take that. And the rest is out here in this mud room. So some here on this table. Actually, some's fallen on the floor. But I am going to collect this, take it inside, and I'll make some into tinctures, some into infuse in the olive oil, and then I'm not going to keep any, like whatever I can't fit in those bottles, it'll go today. But at least that way. So a lot of this, when I looked at it, it is really crunchy already. And it's kind of what you're wanting to get to is where that kind of snaps and doesn't bend. I'll show you when I get in there, but I think we're good to go. All right, so I've got some here and I've got some here. And I was thinking about how cool it is actually that, yes, okay, so Mum got a little carried away and went out and foraged goldenrod, filled the house with it, and we all sneezed our heads off. But how cool is it that the things that make us sneeze, God made it so they can be the medicine that stops it? I think that's pretty awesome. And seeing as how I am a little prone to allergies. I'm not anywhere near as bad as I used to be when I was younger. But my poor JJ, he is 16 and he has a really hard time with allergies, which in Australia, another interesting note. So here everyone says allergies, and that's generally known to be like you're reacting to pollen or grasses or that kind of thing. In Australia, like for me, when I got here and everyone was saying allergies, I'm like, oh, so is that like I'm thinking more food allergies or like an anaphylactic reaction, whereas probably back home what I would have said, or is normally termed, I think, it'd be more to say, oh, I have hay fever, which is not just reacting to hay, it's like any kind of grass or seed or pollen. So it's just interesting, isn't it? The different terminologies continues to be something we navigate. All right. So in behind all of this goldenrod, I have a few empty jars. Now I've got some mason jars. This one's a quart jar. This is just an old jar I saved. It had sauerkraut in it that my mother-in-law bought, washed it out. This one is a bigger one, obviously. And so I'm going to first, I think I'll do the olive oil first, and I'm going to do a really big one with the olive oil. I'm going to break off and put the dried goldenrod in here and then fill it up. I'll pack it down as much as I can and fill it up with olive oil. Now, from what I read and what I understand, you can take like the top section and it's okay if it's got both the leaves, the stem and the flowers, is my understanding. So we're going to just, now some of these are a little bendy still. That's okay. We're just going to snap it in half, bend it over, put the whole lot in.
Mommy, what are you doing?
I am making some medicine. I'm taking this is goldenrod. Here, my little guy. We're gonna take the goldenrod and put it in the jar, and then we're gonna put olive oil on some of it and vodka on some of it and make tinctures and make an oil that will help when the boys hurt their. So the oil one will help when they have hurt themselves in basketball, sprain their ankle or something, and the tincture will help like Jared with all his sneezes.
What about, is there another one?
It helps with kidney problems,
Is there other one?
Other one what?
Is there other like type of medicine you can make?
Well, there may be, but what Mummy's making today is just the goldenrod in with the olive oil and some with the vodka.
Yes, Mom.
Okay, so all of that was covering my table has, on my bench top, has crunched down into there. So now I'll top it up with the olive oil. Obviously this is going to use quite a bit of oil. Just going to make sure it's all down underneath there. That lid on. So there you have it. It's used quite a bit, but hopefully that'll turn into a lovely infusion. So I don't know if you can see the line, but it used nearly the whole thing. But that's okay. It'll sit in there and be stored in the pantry, and I'll shake it up a couple of times for six weeks, I think. I'm just gonna write goldenrod on there. Not. Hang on, honey. The dog ate your bread. Oh. Alright, so I've just written goldenrod on there. Not that I think I'll forget, but you know, you never know. Okay, so the day is getting away from me. I had to pause, put dinner on, put some bread on. So I've got this one done. And the other thing I've discovered is that, oh my goodness, what a mess. Like that went everywhere. Like it's still on the floor. And I had just, okay, confession time. I had just deep cleaned the kitchen looking for my car keys. I didn't find my car keys. They're still lost. They have now been lost for 2 days. I just don't know where they are. But anyway, we deep cleaned the whole house today. Just turned everything, like pulled all the couches out, lifted all the cushions. I deep cleaned the whole kitchen. I don't know what I did with them, but I had just cleaned and now there's like dried up bits of goldenrod everywhere. So I think to finish, the tincture ones, I'm going to take my little jars and go out to the mudroom so that I don't make quite so much mess in the kitchen that I just cleaned. Okay, so I'm out in the mudroom, and it has also become abundantly clear that I was possibly a little overzealous in the amount of goldenrod that I collected the other day, because I don't think, even though it crushes down a whole heap, I probably don't need quite this much. But anyway, that's okay. I will put as much as I can into these 2 jars and then fill it up with the vodka. Okay, so I filled this one, so I've pushed it all down pretty hard and pushed that one down. So we're going to fill those up. Now I've got a little bit of this vodka left and then this new bottle. So I'm going to fill that up. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. Can you see there's an itsy bitsy little spider in there who nearly got vodka'd? Let me see if I can get you out. Little spider, there he is. It's a good sign that this this goldenrod is not too toxic. It doesn't have sprays on it, hopefully. That's funny. All right. Pour this over. Oops. And top that up. Glug, glug, glug. Okay. And a lid on that one. So here we are. We've got our tincture started. So I'll label it, pop it in the pantry where it's going to be dark, and I'll kind of just shake it up every few days. That goldenrod's really got me going. And it will go then at least for 6 to 8 weeks sitting in there. Now clearly I mentioned in the last video I did with the mullein tinctures that I made, that this is the folk method, where I'm not really measuring anything. Hey buddy. I'm not really measuring anything, but I am, as opposed to the ratio method where you weigh things out, you measure it, and you put a certain ratio of the dried herb to the alcohol or the olive oil. This method is the folk method, and you know, slightly less accurate, but I actually feel like this makes it really accessible to me as a busy mum to be able to gather some herbs, forage them wherever, you know, where I find them available, and come home and make a tincture, make an oil infusion without having to take the time and hassle of measuring everything out. Like, it just makes it so much more accessible. So I don't know, we will see how this goes, see how effective I find it. I haven't used goldenrod before. It just makes it more accessible, I feel like, to use this folk method. It's been used for hundreds, probably thousands of years, with great effect. So I got to get out of this mess of goldenrod. Okay, so I've got my 2 tinctures and my oil infusion, and what I think I might do, because there's a lot of goldenrod left out there drying. It's not 100% dry, so I might let it dry a little bit longer, and then fill another one of these just in the dried form, and probably pop a tea bag in just to soak up any extra moisture. And that way I can preserve and save in a dried form some of the goldenrod, so that if I want later through the winter or through whenever, before the next harvest, which obviously will be the next fall when I can get more goldenrod, I'll have some saved in a dried form that I'll be able to use. So I won't save all of it, but I definitely will be filling this up. Maybe a second one to just have on the shelf, and then these will be sitting in the pantry doing their thing. Now these obviously are clear glass, and you want them to be stored in the dark. So I have some amber bottles, but truthfully I probably don't have enough. So especially with the other tinctures I've got going in there, so I could buy more. I'll see whether I can do that or not. If not, I can just store it like this, but keep it in the pantry out of the direct sunlight. Okay, and the rest of the goldenrod that's out there that I've collected too much of, I will put it in the compost, and I may even scatter some seeds out the back, because it'd be handy to have it growing not right next to the house, but on the property, so that I don't have to go finding it elsewhere next October. Anyway, we'll see. I will definitely be composting most of what's left. So there we have it. Lovely goldenrod. If you have experience with goldenrod, please let me know. Comment down below and let me know what you know about it, what you've experienced, what you've seen, because obviously, you know, I haven't, like I said, I haven't worked with goldenrod before. I'm just trying this out to see how it goes. I would love to hear your experiences and what you know about it. All right, friends, well, sunshine and raindrops until the next one, which I'm sure won't be too long. We'll see you soon.